And Yolanda Watkins jumping it up. Connecticut controlling the tap. And we are underway.
Alabama was in the Final Four last year before losing to Louisiana Tech. So they have some experience and 4 returning starters from that team.
Rebecca Lobo, first shot of the game, won't go down. Rebound controlled by the Tide. Watkins. Lisa Johnson getting it ahead quickly. And Alabama doing what they want to do, knocking down the 3.
Yolanda Watkins and Lisa Johnson score 37.4.
Jennifer Rosati wasting no time for a quick 2.
Mike, I was going to say, just almost half of their team's points, so you're going to hear a lot of Johnson and Watkins.
There's Johnson down in the corner, looking inside at Watkins. Yolanda knocking down the turnaround with confidence.
And that's probably one of the first players I've seen really to be able to shoot over the outstretched arms of Kara Walters. She did a little fall away.
Kara Walters inside, unable to put it down. The rebound cleared by the Tide. Here comes Johnson.
You see immediately they look to run, and what an All-American move that was.
Lisa with the spin and able to get the foul on the move.
Lisa Johnson, AP first-team All-American. Last year, first-team Kodak All-American. And you see right out in the transition break, little stutter step and a spin move. Gets the foul on Pam Weber. Coach Moody said yesterday that you're going to see a lot of times just one pass and the shot's going to go up.
Lisa, of course, along with Rebecca Lobo, a Nesmith finalist, and that has to make Rick Moody proud.
They were teammates on the USA Basketball Junior National Team, so they're very good friends. And it's like a mutual admiration society between the two. They both say that each other make the other players around them much better players.
Jennifer Rosati able to break through the pressure.
Sam is coming out in a player-to-player defense.
Pam Weber misses the 3 outside. Rebecca Lobo unable to control the rebound. Marlene Stevenson with it. The Tide doing what they wanted to do early, get an early lead. And Lisa Johnson called on the double dribble outside.
Connecticut has really yet to get into their offensive set. Like we said in the beginning, their strength is Kara Walters, number 52, and Rebecca Lobo, 50, in the middle. Let's see if they set up a play and try to get that today.
Rebecca handling the ball high. Elliott, now Weber. Lobo trying to get a spot down low. Rosati hits a 3.
Jen Rosati, the leader of this team, has all Connecticut's 5 points so far.
Huskies back to within 2. Stevenson, Thompson exchange outside.
And Connecticut falls into their player-to-player defense.
Stevenson unable to hit the jump shot. Weber comes down off the rebound. Huskies look to run.
Huskies better in their transition off a steal or a quick rebound.
Rebecca Lobo fouled by Marlene Stevenson on the turnaround.
And you see how pumped up Rebecca Lobo is. She's trying to instill that intensity in her team. Right now they seem to be just a little tentative, but she's calling for the ball and she goes to the open area. And there is a foul by senior Marlene Stevenson.
Rebecca coming into tonight 106 points shy of becoming the all-time leading scorer at Connecticut.
Scored over her 2,000 points in the Big East tournament, and this team has had so many media attention and so many accolades that for the most part it was sort of went unnoticed. In fact, they didn't even stop the game, and a lot of her players didn't know she was going over the 2,000-point milestone.
She would have to average about 25 a game. And Connecticut would have to play their way all the way to the championship game if she was going to catch Kerry Bascom's record. There's another turnover. Madonna Thompson outside.
A couple of turnovers early for Alabama.
Huskies for the first time with the ball and a chance to grab the lead. 17-20 left to go here first half. First of 2 coming from Gamble. Pass inside picked off. job by Watkins fronting Walters down low.
Exactly, that over-the-top pass.
Nisa, show us some range there, will you?
Well, I said she'd open up some eyes. You know, that's normal for her. A lot of coaches will say, what do you shoot in the NBA three? But that's her range.
It's a legitimate NBA three. Jennifer Rosati continues to be the offensive spark for Connecticut. She's got 7 of the 8.
No time to celebrate. Alabama Tide right back at you.
Thompson thought about a 3 down in the corner. Stevenson's going to try one outside and knock it down.
In that quadruple overtime against Duke, they set an NCAA record for 52 three-point attempts. Of course, they only hit 10 of them, but they attempted 52, and Yolanda Watkins with the steal. That pass is not getting through into Kara Walters.
Johnson the skip pass. Madonna Thompson. No rebound. Controlled by Nisa Johnson. Gets it back out to Madonna.
Mike, I think what we're seeing early is the guards are going to have to start boxing out because the Alabama guards are very athletic and they're very active, and they're coming up with a lot of those loose rebounds.
Watkins can try the 3 outside. Rosati, who has been the story for the Huskies, pushes it to the forecourt. Jennifer, nice fake, and he got 2.
Jennifer Rosati always seems to rise to the occasion. Had 21 points in the CBS game earlier this year versus Kansas.
There's Rosati with the rebound. Wow, she is just a show so far the first 4+ minutes of this game. Jennifer wants it. Got it.
You can't leave Jen Rosati open from behind the stripe. Leads the team in three-point shooting, 41.8%.
She has come out here wired. She's got 12 of the 13. We're tied. And a foul on, guess who? Jennifer Rosati, as she ran into Brittany Ezell down in the corner.
Trying to play the good defense and get a hand out in the front of the shooter. And it looks like Ezell's going to go up for it. Jen Rosati tries to stop her momentum. Just a little bit of a brush foul. And that, I believe, is going to be 3 foul shots for Brittany Ezell.
Madonna Thompson out of the game for the first time. Nene Daniels has checked in. And Brittany Ezell will shoot 3, as Sherry pointed out.
Ezell had 11 points versus Duke. True point guard, and only a freshman for a relatively veteran team for Coach Moody.
Carol Walters has taken the seat as we look at the 3-point numbers, and Nikisha Sales comes in. We talk about Nisa Johnson and Rebecca Lobo. Nikisha Sales is a treat to watch play, too.
She certainly is, and she's really the future of the offense for the Huskies.
Great job by Brittany at the free throw line, and Alabama's got a 2-point lead. A timeout with the score. Alabama 16, UConn 13. Plus the field, she has 12 of the UConn 13 points.
And the Tide comes out with a little full court pressure. It's just really an extension of their man-to-man defense.
Charlotte Cruz has come into the lineup too for the first time for Alabama tonight. Daniels out defensively on Lobo. Sales touching it for the first time over to Weber. Back to Lobo. Connecticut trying to get Rebecca involved. Rebecca goes down with a nice pass, and Elliott finishes underneath.
Rebecca Lobo, third leading assist maker on this team.
Daniels unable to make the catch. Tied up, it'll stay Crimson Tide ball on the alternating possession.
You can see after that timeout that Connecticut definitely wants to get Rebecca Lobo more involved in the offense, as you said, because right now it's the guards that are doing the job from the outside, and their strength is in the inside. But Alabama's doing a great job on their defensive end.
Ezell kicks it out. Quick jumper by Kuntz goes down.
Alabama shooting over 50% from the floor early on.
18-15, tied by 3 under 15 minutes to go first half. Down low on the blocks, the kick out as Lobo was doubled. Now she gets it back from Weber. Can't hit. Rebound stripped underneath there. Ezell with the quick hands. Lisa Johnson now running the show up top. Orlando Watkins, the quick shots, an air ball, and the Huskies will get it back.
Very quick. One pass and the shot goes up.
Rick Moody told us yesterday, first good one we see.
That's it.
I guess Yolanda felt that was the first good one she saw. Rebecca Lobo will get her first rest of the night. Carla Berube has checked into the game.
For Connecticut, their 35 home win streak. You see the field goal. Both teams shooting very well. Connecticut 6 for 10 and Alabama 5 for 10. Connecticut 35 home game win streak, 19 last year and 16-0 this year.
Knocked down outside. Nikisha Sales hits a three.
The Big East Rookie of the Year. Off the bench, her and Carla Berube, they look to score.
Tipped out of bounds. It'll still say Alabama ball. They gave Nikisha a 2 on that shot, not a 3. So the score 18-17, tied by 1 on the balls. Rick Moody makes the call off the bench. Rebecca Lobo's stay on the Connecticut bench, a brief one. Jamel Elliott will sit down.
And now Coach Oyem is going with probably what is his biggest lineup with Kara Walters 6'7", Rebecca Lobo at 6'4", and they were discussing whether it was a 3 or a 2. Officials still say it was a 2. And then Nikisha Sales is playing now at the top of the zone.
Lisa Johnson, a little floater on the baseline, won't go. Lobo the rebound. Again, the Huskies the ball, a chance for the lead. The half court for Ruby. Trying to dish it inside. Blocking foul is going to be called on Yolanda Watkins.
The Huskies love to start their fast break with a rebound. Rebecca Lobo makes a long outlet pass to Berube. And Watkins got called for the block. Now we are going to take a look at this. Look at Nikisha's foot. Actually, pretty close on that one.
It stays a 2, though, in the book. Sales from the other side, and that's a 3.
She was last year's consensus high school player of the year.
Lisa Johnson right back, won't go down, tipped out of bounds, last touched by Rebecca Lobo.
Connecticut very capable of big runs, Mike. If they start to feel the intensity picking up on defense, they're going to start to run.
Yolanda Watkins, quick shot off the inbound, tries to track down and does get her own rebound. Lisa Johnson, the skip pass. Brittany Ezel can't get the feet of the ball. Nice job on the offensive glass. Watkins trying to squeeze it up, jump ball. This time it comes back to the Huskies.
And Rebecca Lobo just stayed home with that. Her and Kara Walters had the double box around the long 3 once again. Alabama doing a good job on the offensive boards, but look at that trap. There's just nowhere to go. And a smart play. No foul, just kept their arms straight up.
Madonna Thompson checks back in. Leah Monteith is making her first appearance for the Crimson Tide, number 32. Rick Moody going very deep into his bench here first half.
Alabama substitutions entering the lineup number 12.
Yolanda Watkins has suffered a mild concussion in the first round. And there's a steal.
Madonna Thompson with the quick hands, and then the foul called on Nikisha Sales.
Both teams being very aggressive and going after the ball. Bad pass from Lobo to Rosati. And then Thompson came up with it. There's Nikisha Sales trying to steal it. Almost got away with that.
She almost did, is right.
Almost did. In fact, she leads the team in steals this year with 92. It's a season record for Connecticut.
Thompson sets herself, can't get the 3 to stay. Rebound to Walters. Carol Walters, nice job rebounding and bringing it up herself. Now Rosati. Berube looking inside at Lobo. They come back out, go back in, and a traveling violation is called on Rebecca. Got Gino off the bench, didn't it?
Things get Gino off the bench, though. He's that type of coach. He's very vocal. He knows the game. This is sort of one to get over the hump. You see turnovers, Connecticut with 5, Alabama 3, taking better care of the ball.
Ball knocked away by Rebecca Lobo down in the corner. Rebecca, a quick look at the official, thinking there might be a foul. Crimson Tide have 16 on the shot clock. Nisa thought about it again from the same spot.
I think that one might have been a little further out, and that's going to be a traveling call.
Yep, Sarah Smith picks it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's
and we're going to get a timeout. 11:57 left to go. We've got a timeout with the score. UConn 20 and Alabama 18. Mike Gorman along with Sherry Levin here at the Gampo Pavilion as we look to head towards the women's Final Four coming up next week out at the Target Center in Minnesota.
A lot of great teams in the country still in the Sweet 16 with a lot of winning tradition, but we look here. Alabama going 0 for 5 in their last 5 shots, now 5 for 15, 33%. Connecticut warming up, 66.7%.
Jennifer Rizzotti quickly to the fourth quarter, 12 quick points. I mean, quick points for Jennifer to open up this game. Sales, that's her first miss outside. Ruby keeps it alive though on the glass. Walters calling for it down low. Lobo extends it 2.
You saw they had a double team on Walters, which allowed Rebecca Lobo to get a little breathing room.
Nikisha Sales, too, with the aggressive defense off the inbounds, forces the turnover.
Nikisha Sales very active, but there's a look at a jump shot by Lobo. Top of the elbow, about 15 feet out. Leading scorer and rebounder on the Huskies.
Alabama substitutions entering the line.
Big East Player of the Year, Rebecca Lobo. Big East Scholar, Athlete of the Year.
Connecticut on a 7-0 run. Sales and Rizzotti exchange outside. Here's Rizzotti, lowers the shoulder, finds Sales, knocks it down.
It's funny, Mike, I was thinking she had the shot about 3 passes earlier, just from about the same position, did not take it, and ended up coming right back to her.
8 for Nikisha Sales off the bench. The Huskies have opened up a 25-18 lead, a 10-0 run.
And what Connecticut was practicing in defense was not to allow the 3 to get out, to force people to the middle. Thompson sneaks inside, but there's the steal, anticipation by Nikisha Sales.
2 nice moves by Madonna Thompson, then she threw it away. Berube in. Walters.
Mike, this is a time in the game where Connecticut will feed off the energy from this crowd. A couple of steals, a couple of baskets. Alabama right now needs to just settle down and get a good shot up on the clock.
I would think you would want, as Yolanda Watkins turned it over, you got to get the ball in Nisa Johnson's hands a little more.
I think you're right. If she had the ball at the top of the key from about 22 out, she was thinking of taking the 3. And hit right in front of Coach Carla Berube off the knee. Yes!
There's a timeout on the floor with the score. UConn 27, Alabama 18. This is an NCAA production.
Behind the 3, that's 5.1 per game. Jen Rizzotti penetrates the defense, has to attack Rizzotti, passes it back out to Nikisha Sales. That's her second 3. She now has 8 points. So off the bench, Nikisha Sales adding a lot of offense to a very well-balanced team. In fact, Mike, 5 players averaging double figures for Connecticut. Points off for turnovers. Alabama just 3, and Connecticut's taking advantage of the turnovers with 10 points.
Tide showing some full court pressure there. Now they back it off a little bit inside. Walters. Lobo can't keep it alive. Off the floor, rebound, loose. Thompson and Sales. Sales is going to come up with it. Madonna Thompson slow to get up.
And Rick Rudy's saying to the officials, Nikisha Sales sort of just threw her down on the floor going for that ball. Nikisha Sales like a big 4 to 6 foot.
Rick had a little bit of a case there too. Lobo the turnaround, and Rebecca gets fouled. Marlene Stevenson picks up her second.
Once the ball goes into Lobo on the box, a lot of times she'll fake to the baseline and go to the middle. That time she faked to the middle and went to the baseline.
Throughout that whole exchange, Rick Moody pleading with the officials that his kids get manhandled a little bit out here.
I think in that case, I think he did have legitimate beef. Of course, Madonna Thompson's a 5'7" guard. Trying to go after that ball with 6 foot Nikisha Sales. A little bit of a difference.
4 points on the night for Rebecca Lobo, and again a testament to this Connecticut team that you're the National Player of the Year. Could be sitting here with 4 points 10 minutes into the game and you're still up 10. We got a lane violation. Rebecca's going to get another free throw.
The one thing that everybody had talked about with these two teams is that Alabama is really a tried and tested team out of the SEC conference, where 7 teams have gone to the NCAA and there are still 4 teams remaining. So they've been tested all season long, where Connecticut, as we mentioned, beats their opponents by 35 points.
Skip pass. Johnson unable to get Gale out as Lobo jumps out on her quickly. Stevenson inside. Yolanda Watkins, good ball fade. Oh, a travel is called.
She was trying to solve the Kara Walters puzzle. How do I shoot over someone 6'7" with their arms outstretched? Looks like she had a good attack. Here's a high angle camera. Little fake, and then yes, she did move her pivot foot.
Lisa Johnson outside on Sales. Now Rosati. Approaching 9 minutes. Yep. Approaching 9 minutes to go in the half. Madonna Thompson got a piece of that. 9 seconds on the shot clock. 9:08 to go in the half. 28-18. The Huskies by 10.
These are two very physical teams, but for Alabama to match up with Connecticut, they have to be even more physical.
I haven't seen Rick Moody before, but he's getting his money's worth with these officials, I'll tell you, on that side.
Shot clock down 5.
Rosati into the paint, and Madonna Thompson called for the foul?
I think she was called for the hold before the shot. As I mentioned, Jen Rosati rises to the occasion. She also had 21 points in the game versus Tennessee. At the time, it was Connecticut who was ranked number 2, Tennessee number 1. That was 10 weeks ago, and since then, Connecticut has remained in that number 1 spot.
A steal underneath by Yolanda Watkins. The Tide getting a chance to run. Nisa Johnson kicks it to the side. Madonna for a 3, no. Rebound pulled down by Jamel Elliott.
Mike, it seems like the old Rick Pitino Providence style, where instead of going for the layup, instead of going for the 2, Johnson throws the ball out to the behind the arc for Thompson.
3-second violation call. Kara Walters caught in the lane.
3-second violation, Connecticut.
So I'd say we could get, we had 2 more extra cameras on this shoot. We could make a great movie out of Chino Oriema and Rick Moody, as they are both really working the sideline.
Both very animated coaches. Coach Oriema, the Big East Coach of the Year. Actually, it was a Connecticut sweep with Coach Oriema, Coach of the Year. Rebecca Lobo, Player of the Year. And Nikisha Sales, the Rookie of the Year.
It happens when you're 30-something, 31-0.
It certainly does.
Nikki Zell outside looking in. They get it. Yolanda Watkins kicks it back out. Rebound taken down again by Elliott. Alabama made their first 3. That long one by Nisa Johnson. They have missed their last 6. Rebecca Lobo, 2.
Scouting report needs to say she'll take the 15-footer. She'll even take the 3.
Nisa Johnson, a long 3 won't go. Here's Rosati on the break. She's got Sales up the floor with her. Little stop and go by Rosati. Blocking the foul. Is going to go against Ezell.
Jen Rosati on the AP second-team All-American.
Crowd wanted the bucket. They're not going to get it.
Before the shot, Alabama foul on number 25, Brittany Ezell.
And since it was before the shot, Alabama has 5 team fouls. Connecticut just 3 team fouls.
Down low, there's another foul picked up. It's going to be Nene Daniels.
The Tide defense fell asleep just for a second. Carla Berube very aware of that. Rebecca Lobo goes up strong with that pass.
Gave that one to Carla Kuntz, not to Nene Daniels. And Rebecca Lobo will step to the free throw line.
Actually, if you had to talk about one thing in her game that probably needs a little bit of fixing, it might be the foul shooting. Got that one down, but in the first game versus Maine, she was 0 for 5 from the charity stripe.
Free throw shooting, especially in NCAA play, critical. minutes straight up to go here. First half, Connecticut has opened up their biggest lead. It's 32-18. 8 points now for Lobo. She and Rosati, the two All-Americans, have combined for 20 of the 32.
Alabama this year opened up their season with 8 consecutive wins before losing to Tennessee.
Lisa Johnson on the offensive glass. She brings it back out. Rosati with the steal.
A little bit of a careless pass from Lisa Johnson. She really hasn't been active. You see Connecticut on a 17, make it 20-0 run.
11 for Lobo, 17 now the lead. Kuntz is able to silence the crowd at least for the moment. Second basket for Carla tonight.
Kuntz, a real good 6th player. She comes off the bench and she really can light it up. When they play at home, every time she scores in double figures, the local Subway restaurant gives everybody a free sandwich.
Lisa Johnson. Daniels with her on the break, gives it back to Ezell. Ezell with some room, and she knocks down a 3.
Alabama 3-point basket by Brittany Ezell.
6 points for Brittany on the night. Keeps the Crimson Tide within hailing distance here. 12 down with 6:42 to play here in the first half. Good morning, along with Sherry Levin. Happy you can be with us from the Gamble Pavilion. Regional action. There's a pass picked off by Daniels, and the Tide coming alive a bit after that big run by Connecticut.
Like that pass generally from the top of the key into the center does not go through. You have a lot of arms waving. You got to go down low and give it the baseline. Carla Berube a little bit careless on that pass, but against some of the competition that Connecticut has faced, those passes have gone through.
Yolanda Watkins wild with the 3, and Jamel Elliott is there. Jennifer Rosati looks like she wants to slow it down a little bit. Berube looked inside now. She'll take it and make it. First 2 for Carla Berube off the bench. Pushes the lead back up to 14, 37-23.
And Rosati, one of the best defensive players for Connecticut, has that assignment of shadowing Lisa Johnson.
Kuntz has to back it back out. Berube is out on Ezell.
Just 7 on the shot clock.
Lisa Johnson, nice crossover move, splits the defense, lays it down to Watkins. It's blocked by Lobo. Nisa got it back, but the shot clock ran out on her.
Tremendous dribbling to get through the top line of the defense and even the second.
Substitution, number 42.
Lisa Johnson, what player she has been in her career. Last year, first-team All-American. This year, first-team All-American. Her and Rebecca Lobo in the running for the Naismith Player of the Year, along with Charlotte Smith and Nikki McCray out of Tennessee. Charlotte Smith, of course, that player from North Carolina who hit the 3 with 0.7 seconds to go to win the national championship.
Louisiana Tech tell you all about that one.
All too
Ruby
well.
got stripped. Great play by Nisa Johnson coming to help out on the defense. Carla Kuntz trying to gather herself and brings it up into the forecourt, leaves it to Nisa Johnson. Quick turnaround by Daniels. Won't get the bounce. Yolanda Watkins couldn't keep it alive. Here comes Rosati. Jennifer kicks it back out. Elliott. Connecticut has a lot of answers, don't they?
Oh, they certainly do. But I said to Jamel the other day, I said, would you mind if we called you the unsung hero of this team? And she had a big smile. She says, no, actually, that probably fits.
Carla Kuntz can't keep that down, and
Looks like Kara Walters will be called for that.
over the back. Nice job by Yolanda Watkins getting position on the offensive glass.
See the team huddle. There's one thing that if you go down the line with Connecticut players and say, you know, what is it that you focus that have gotten you to 31-0? They'll say it's really team chemistry. We all really enjoy playing. We love to be on this floor. We like each other. We support each other. It's just happens.
Rebecca Lobo telling me as we look at Yolanda Watkins too that she said our fans really like us. She said sometimes with the men the fans get on their case, but they never get on our case. And, a very, very touching scene. I believe you were here for Connecticut's last home game.
Yes.
The fans didn't want to leave this building. Rebecca didn't want to leave the floor. That was a wonderful scene. I saw that on tape. I wasn't here, but it was a wonderful scene.
Tennessee 26, Western Kentucky 16.
65, and the Tide struggling here at Gamble.
Over their season average. Connecticut on offense a little sloppy, and see Alabama in their transition game.
Well, Carla Kuntz has done a nice job for Rick Moody off the bench. She's got 6.
Averages about 18 minutes per game. See how Nisa Johnson sets her up with that assist. Johnson has had 2 triple doubles this season. One versus Duke and then one earlier versus South Carolina.
Rebecca Lobo comes up with the air ball. Is a timeout on the floor. With the score, UConn 39 and Alabama 25. This telecast presented by the Authority. Connecticut continues to shoot the ball very well, up around 65% for the half.
Number 52, Carol Walters, replacing Janelle Elliott.
Huskies have Walters, Lobo, Rosati, Berube, and Sales on the floor as we take a look around the country.
Fellow SEC team Tennessee with a 7-point lead.
Well, there was some outstanding quickness there by Jennifer Rosati. I thought she had no shot saving this ball on the sidelines after she makes the steal.
She put on the afterburners. She does a lot of that with her heart. You can model your hustle after Jen Rosati. Great anticipation. Saves it just in front of us, Mike. And right here, just knows that she has to get to the rim.
Carla Kuntz called for that foul. She didn't like it, but she got it. And Rosati, who averages 12 a game, has got 15 in the first half. 6 of 7 from the field.
She has really stepped up her game when it has meant something.
I guess.
Alabama substitution, entering on at number 54, Yolanda Watkins.
This is the tape to show the kids years later, you know?
Well, this year you see she's wearing knee pads. Previous year she didn't, and I said, how do you like it with the knee pads? She said, oh, it feels me, it's great, because now I know I can dive on the floor and I'm not going to kill my knees.
Play with abandon now. Oh, great bounce pass there by Nisa Johnson, but Lobo came up with the block on Watkins.
Career leader in blocks is 109 this year, second in the nation.
Sales is going to take it. Berube on the offensive glass, and she got fouled by Sarah Smith.
Paula Berube being very active on the boards. In fact, she sort of pushed out teammate Rebecca Lobo to get that rebound. Being very aggressive. The sophomore out of Oxford, Massachusetts. And there's a 3 from Sales. A little bit long. You see Berube come into your picture late. Just followed that rebound. Nobody put a body on her, so she took it on her own. Scored over 2,000 points in high school.
Three and 3 the numbers for Carleton tonight. Gino Auriemma has to be very happy with the effort of his team in this first half. 43 points on the board, still just under 3 minutes to play.
Berube versus Maine in the first round at 7 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. Very good overall game. That was in just 22 minutes of play.
Nisa looked like she was limping a little bit as she brought that up. She gets stripped and a foul is called. Nikisha Sales didn't like that one. She thought she had a clean pick.
I don't think Coach Auriemma went about 5 feet. If you wanted to measure his vertical lead, that was the time to do it. This looks like, ooh, that is a clean steal. Oh no, she says, you mean I didn't just pick off one of the best players in the country? I'm only a freshman. Almost had that one.
Nisa directed traffic as she has been all night. Boy, she's got a great quick crossover with the dribble. Good hustle to keep it alive by Marlene Stevenson.
Alabama, you see how active they are.
Lisa can't get the three to stay down, and again, good hustle down there by Carla Kuntz on the baseline, but she couldn't control it. It'll come back to the Huskies. Rick, no shortage of effort at all from Rick Moody's kids.
One bit. In fact, that 4 overtime game, he said that he has never been a part of anything like that before, and he probably never will.
I don't think he will again. 74 points scored in the 4 overtime. Nobody was playing to lose in that one.
It was tremendous. They said they just went up and down the court, and it was one fabulous shot after another. Of course, Nisa Johnson had a couple of those fabulous shots in regulation. She hit one with 1.6 seconds to go.
Brittany Ezel will be called reaching in on Carol Walters down in the paint.
When Walters gets the ball in the middle, you certainly don't want to foul her. That time they were trying to surround her. That will put Alabama in the bonus situation. They have 17 fouls. Connecticut with just 5. Kara Walters, also a AP All-American. She was on the 3rd team. So for Connecticut, actually, that marks the first time in history where there have been 3 players, one on the 1st, one on the 2nd, who was Rosati, and one on the 3rd team, Walters. That's 3 of the top 15 players voted by the AP poll.
We are under 2 minutes to go here in the first half, controlled by the #1 ranked Huskies, 46-25. The Crimson Tide got out early in this game, and then the Huskies came back with a vengeance. Lobo clears the miss, and here comes Rosati.
Lisa Johnson is doing a good job in finding open teammates after she penetrates, but they're not finishing. 4 people.
Walters, and a 3-second violation called.
4 people, Mike, surrounding Kara Walters, and they could not find an open player.
Stay with us at the half. We'll have some of the NCAA top 8 winners. A look there, as well as first half stats and highlights, all coming along at the half.
Lisa Johnson has scored in double figures every single game this season. Trying to find an opening.
She's quick into the lane, kicks it out this time for the 3, and Walters is there with Marlena Stevenson's miss.
She is orchestrating, but her team isn't finishing.
Lobo, the quick turn, won't go. Walters keeps it alive. Yes, and a foul.
Kara Walters, the Big East Tournament MVP. Very active on the boards, but at 6'7", you have to back her out because she'll cleanly go over the top. She tipped it to herself, as you saw, and then put it in. Shoots 63.1% from the field, and you can see why.
Carla Kuntz picked up her 3rd personal foul. Carla's done a great job off the Crimson Tide bench tonight. Boy, this is just a very, very impressive offensive performance by Connecticut against a quality team.
Certainly is, and they're getting a lot of their offense on second chance points and also in the transition. But, Mike, I'm more impressed with the defense that they've done. This Alabama team knows how to score. They have 4 returning starters from a team that went to the Final Four last year. And right now, the Connecticut defense is shutting them down.
Ezel has to back it up, down to 14 on the shot clock.
It's Pam Weber who has the job of guarding Lisa Johnson.
Lisa on the cut, trying to throw it back out. Yolanda Watkins going to have to put it up. It's an air ball. Lobo just boxes out, and the ball comes back to the Huskies. They can take the final shot of the first half if they wanted. Rick Moody, I'm not sure what's in the coach's handbook to say at halftime of this one. 49-25 with 23 seconds. Jamel Elliott comes back in, and Pam Weber sits down.
Pam Weber has never missed a game in her career. In fact, she just broke the record. This 128th game is a record for UConn, so she has a lot of playing experience, and fans gave her a big crowd just for that one series where she stopped Lisa Johnson.
She wants to play about 131 games, I think, before she's through.
I think you are right. So that's the key number.
Rebecca Lobo, 2 more. 51-25, 26-point Husky lead. Nisa Johnson's pass got picked off, but she got fouled. I think they're going to give it to Jennifer Rosati.
Mike, it seems that Johnson is really playing the assist maker role. I think she needs to start looking more to scoring. She's penetrating and she's passing the ball out because Connecticut defense is keying on her, but her teammates are not finding the net.
Yeah, you just read my mind. I mean, she's going to have to in the second half look a lot more for shots like that three-point shot she hit. Throws that one up in desperation. Nearly got it to go down. But the first half here at Gamble belongs to the #1 team in the country. That's the end of the first half with the score. The University of Connecticut Huskies 51. The Alabama Crimson Tide 25.
Overtime game. This was one from Coons. They set this up in the fast break. They set it up in transition. They love to shoot the threes.
Let's take a look at the numbers here in that first
Tell them to go back to what we do well, and that's the transition, the defense, and you have to really concentrate on those shots. I mean, they're not falling for them. They've got some of those shot opportunities. They just have to stick with it. And obviously, this Connecticut team is the #1 team in the country, so they just have to stick with what got them here.
Let's see if Nisa Johnson does look for her offense a little more. There she goes to the bucket for 2.
Well, we certainly called that one there, Mike. She just took it by 2 waves of Connecticut defense for the layup. She had a 28-point, 12 rebound, 14 assists versus Duke.
Lobo into the lane trying to dish it down low. Here's Nisa Johnson with the steal, but the ball bounces right back to Rosati.
Connecticut to close out the half went on a 36-7 run.
Jamel Elliott there with the follow.
Elliott perfect from the floor, 3 for 3.
Jamel looking to make it 4 for 4. Nope, misses the layup. Rosati, though, hustles back to the rebound. Now Jamel back up, and she'll get to the free throw line. If that's on Carla Kuntz, it's going to be her 4th.
Yolanda Watkins came down to cause Elliott to miss that layup. I don't think Jamel's used to sprinting down the length of the court like this. Tried to get over Watkins' hands, and there's Rosati once again following the play. Jamel Elliott scored over her 1,000th career point. First Virginia Tech. She says, you know, I'm shy. A lot of people don't know that. Off the court, I'm shy, and when everybody started looking at me and stopped the game, I just got really embarrassed, she said. But the rest of the team was really happy for somebody like Jamel Elliott, who's like that unsung hero and always sort of in the background. You mentioned Carla Kuntz with her 4th personal foul. That hurts. They lose a little size as she's in the guard position, 5'9".
And Jamel Elliott comes out with a quick 4 points to begin this second half, and Connecticut actually extends their lead now. They're up 28. Rosati close up on Ezel. Nice move by Ezel to get by. Monteith in the game for Kuntz. Johnson trying to post up down low, dishes that one off, and Daniels gets the bounce. First 2 for Nene tonight. She came in averaging 7 a game, 55-29.
Double figures in 9 games this season. The Connor State Junior College transfer gives also a little extra experience.
Jennifer Rosati's shot comes up a little short. They scramble for it. Out of the pack comes Monteith. Nisa Johnson just waving people into the forecourt, trying to squeeze that bounce pass through. Couldn't get it by Weber. Now Nisa from the corner misses the 3. Watkins, the quick turnaround won't go down. It's pulled down by Jamel Elliott.
Well, Mike, you can clearly see that Johnson is starting to look for her shot more. She has penetrated and passed, but the first couple of times down the floor in the second half, she has looked to the rim.
Rebecca Lobo looking for cutters off the high post, gives it up to Rosati. Carol Walters, little turnaround for 2.
Tough shot with Yolanda Watkins' hand in her face. This is Coach Oriemo with 223 wins to just 81 losses in his 10-year career at Connecticut. Had a 4-year stint with Virginia as assistant coach to Debbie Ryan, whose team we will see later on, as well as a 2-year deal at St. Joseph's.
Little head and shoulders fake, and then knocks down the pull-up shot.
Nisa Johnson.
Nisa now with 9, trying to get her club back in this one, but it is a long road. And those still be Husky ball. That tipped out of bounds as Gino Oriello calls the play off the sideline.
Also wanted a little more air on that ball. Get it up, he said. You're passing to someone 6'7".
Nene Daniels said she was there with her hands up, but she gets called for the foul.
Connecticut works that out of bounds play where they just throw it up tall. Go for it, Kara, jump.
Marlene Stevenson back in. Leah Monteith will sit down.
She has a 6-inch height advantage over Nene Daniels at 6'1" and a 5-inch advantage over Watkins, who stands 6'2". As they're trying to front and back, but when you do that, you leave Rebecca Lobo open.
Here comes Nisa Johnson. Nisa, oh, nice move. Set up Daniels perfectly for the shot. She couldn't make it. Walters the rebound quickly to Weber. She's got Elliott with her on the break. Pam, the pull-up won't go. Knocked out of bounds, and unfortunately for the Crimson Tide, Watkins and Daniels were both there. It'll still be Husky basketball.
That was one that got away from them. They were both going for the rebound, just didn't call for it.
Sarah Smith has come back in for Alabama, and Yolanda Watkins will sit down. Yolanda averaging 16 a game, just 5 so far tonight. Keisha Sales on the floor now for the Huskies.
Johnson, who leads the team with 21.3 points, well under her average. Ooh, nice steal and great anticipation for Johnson.
Walters might have got a piece of that shot.
I think she did. Number 6 in the NCAA in blocks this year with 84.
Jennifer Rosati, the scoop for 2. 17 now for Jen Rosati. Look at the dribble moves, though, by Nisa Johnson. Her teammates, though, just unable to put down the jump shot. She keeps setting them up for her. Here comes Rosati.
For some beautiful plays. Most players would love to have a point guard that could set you up that way.
Jennifer Rosati doing a pretty good job on the other side as she got fouled with the penetration move. Carla Berube is going to come into the game for the Huskies. Watkins and Thompson coming back in for the Crimson Tide. But we've got a timeout on the floor with the score UConn 59, Alabama 31.
He said there's a good reason why you've never been involved in one like that, because there's never been one like that. And it was the truth. It was a situation where both teams kept making incredible play after incredible play.
Second personal foul, 4th on the team. At the line for Connecticut shooting team.
Yolanda Watkins picking up her second personal foul there as we were listening to Rick Moody.
Thank you.
And that's definitely one that will go down in the record books. Unfortunately, was not televised, so just the people in the gymnasium got to see that, about 1,900 people.
But that number will grow through the years.
Oh,
yes,
it certainly will. Next year, ESPN is taking over the women's package, so there should be some more exposure. But it's great to see these games on TV, and you know, it's really giving that showcase for women's basketball, which it deserves.
Nisa Johnson, a little hesitation move, throws up a runner, got hacked, and she'll get to the line.
Keisha Sales with the body. You see the leaping ability of a player of Nisa Johnson's caliber. She's just so much fun to watch. She has so many moves, such control of her body at full speed.
Nisa Johnson.
Kara Walters, a seat now on the Husky bench as Nisa Johnson steps to the line for a couple. You mentioned earlier that Nisa and Rebecca Lobo were good friends. In fact, I know Rebecca went over and met Nisa and the Alabama team when they came to town this week. These two playing earlier on a USA national team, both of them finalists for the Nesbitt Award this year.
They both respect their abilities, and that's what's one thing that's great about women's basketball, and is the fact that, you know, you travel and you make great friends, and when you're on the court, you forget about that. For 40 minutes, you're competitors, but off the court, you go back and you let your hair down and you're best of buddies.
Kim Better into the game for the first time, waving for the ball in the forecourt as she was all alone. Jen Rosati would have had to make a heck of a pass to find her. Kim was all alone.
Kim Better, really a defensive specialist. Has a lot of hustle to the team when she comes in.
Berube blocked down low. I think it was Yolanda Watkins who got a piece of the shot. It'll still be Husky basketball though.
That's Yolanda Watkins' 40th block of the season. She leads the team in blocks and great timing. Gets her on the underside. Carla Berube exposed the basketball.
And the officials got together and decided the ball belonged to the Crimson Tide. 59-33, 26-point Connecticut lead. We are under 15 minutes now to go in the game. Lisa again the dish, and Marlena Stevenson really wasn't ready for it.
Well, actually, that time it looked like Johnson was open for the jump shot. She passed that up to penetrate and make the
Watkins a nice move. She gets her first bucket of the second half and will get to the line.
Little spin move underneath. She gets the interior pass. It's nice little fake into the center. Takes it baseline. Rebecca Lobo with the foul from behind. That's her first personal foul of the year, of the game.
The competitive fire in Nisa Johnson I was watching as you were doing the replay. The Crimson Tide players huddled around the free throw line, and I mean, Nisa was pumped the way she was talking to her teammates. You'd think it was a two-point game.
Well, Nisa Johnson is a senior, so this will be it for her Crimson Tide career.
Rosati right up the gut, the dish to Lobo. Nicely done.
Yeah, two of the best playmakers in the country here.
Nisa back in a hurry, pulls it out. Well, she's got as good a handle, as they call it, as anyone I've seen.
She's just putting on a dribbling exhibition, but as we have said many times, her team is not supporting her. They're getting the open opportunities.
Betters with the move down on the baseline. Can't squeeze it up, got too far under, and Watkins came away with the rebound. Here's Madonna Thompson with the push, the bounce pass, and Marlena Stevenson fouled by Kim Better.
Alabama trying to get some easy baskets in transition.
Foul on number 5, Kim Better.
Try to cut into this lead.
Kim Better out and Kara Walters back in.
At the line for Alabama, shooting 2, Marlene Stevenson.
13 foul on Connecticut, 4 in the second half on the Crimson Tide.
It was Nisa Johnson in that quadruple overtime game. In the regulation, hit a three-pointer with 1.6 seconds remaining. They were down 81-78. That was heroics. And then in the first overtime, she hit 2 foul shots with 2.2 seconds remaining to tie the game at 89. Then the second and the third were, I guess, uneventful because they didn't tell us exactly what happened until the fourth overtime, where with 7.8 seconds, she hit another 2 key foul shots to give them the win.
Berube taking it strong into the paint, and a blocking foul is called. Yolanda Watkins thought she had gotten position. The official quick to call the block.
Berube and Sales off the bench have contributed combined 12 points between the two.
So Carla Berube, who had 4 first half points, third, as we mentioned, on Watkins.
Berube had missed the 3.5 weeks of preseason in the first 2 games with a stress fracture of her left ankle. And since then has come back and has gotten right back into her routine, where last year she left off. There was a selection of the Big East rookie selection team.
63-38. It's all Huskies here as we've got about 13.5 minutes to go. Second game of the night will pit Virginia against Louisiana Tech. There's Jamel Elliott off the Watkins miss. Leah Monteith applying some full court pressure. Jennifer Rosati able to clear it up, and then Monteith is called for a reach-in foul.
Monteith is a redshirt freshman out of Alabama. She was 1993 Miss Basketball, and coach took her aside last year and said, you know, we have 4 returning starters, but the next year when Nisa Johnson graduates, we're really going to need your production. So she sat out last year, said it was a little difficult watching in the Final Four from the bench, but now she's starting to produce.
Oh, that's a power move there by Jamel Elliott.
That's kind of like open your eyes next time. And that's a crowd pleaser. Trapped underneath as she's falling to the floor.
Marlena Stevenson called for her 4th personal foul.
Alabama with a little personal foul trouble. Watkins with 3, Stevenson with 4.
Might be the least of their problems right now.
That's for sure.
66-38.
NCAA tournament so far, Elliott averaging 14 points per game. So she stepped up her game in the tournament over the season, averaged 10.4.
Leah Monteith unable to hit anything outside. Rick Moody just trying to keep it together right now. His club down 28. Crimson Tide coming in here, the number 4 seed. Rosati spins away from the backcourt pressure. The Huskies now with numbers. Rosati's floater goes down.
A rainbow over Watkins. And it looks like Stevenson comes up.
Yep.
Limping.
Connecticut right now with their biggest lead of the night, 30. And Rosati does indeed rule this evening. Marlena Stevenson will limp out on her own accord.
A high arcing shot. Had no choice but to go up high with that. Jen Rosati likes that. Big smile from the native from New Fairfield, Connecticut.
Nene Daniels has checked into the game, and Marlena Stevenson appears to be all right over there on the Crimson Tide bench. Loosened the lacings on that right sneaker. And the foul's on Carla Berube.
Asked Rebecca Lobo about the focus of this team, and a lot of people have said that, you know, you haven't played anybody tough. You haven't really had those close games all season, aside from Tennessee and Kansas was probably their closest ball game of the year. So when it does get tight, how do you think you'll respond? And she says, well, we play the same way no matter what time of the game it is. Whether we have a 10-point lead or a 20-point lead, we're playing with 100%. So you can see that their lead has just increased because they have not let down. Their intensity and their tenaciousness on defense has stayed.
Walk down low for Watkins. Walters there, though, and foul is going to be called on Yolanda as she got Kara Walters the second time around. Looks like she got her right across the bridge of the nose.
I think she did. That's real painful. Anytime you get hit in the nose or the mouth area. Lobo with the good head fakes. And you'll see it right there.
Right there, yeah. Well,
like right
got it with the inside of the elbow, though, which is good.
So they're fighting for that rebound. See at 6'7", Kara Walker.
And Weber will shoot the 1-and-1. 17th foul on Alabama, 14 fouls here on UConn. This game has really slowed down a lot. 11:42 left to play.
70% shooter. How's that jinxed her, Mike?
They'll be calling you, not me, Sherry.
I know, I said it, I did. Pam Weber, we're still waiting. She needs just 1 assist before she ties the career assist leader for Connecticut.
I think Kara Walters down in the locker room will try to get some word for you there. The more disturbing thing to me is that Kara seems really shaky.
And anytime you get hit in the head and the face area, you know, there's always that danger of a mild concussion or something. We don't want to speculate at all, so we will try to get you the correct report from the trainer's room.
Under 11 minutes now to go in the game. 28-point Connecticut lead. They've had it to 30. Rosati the dish. battling underneath, and the foul's going against the Crimson Tide. Rick Moody is really upset over there on the Alabama sideline.
He's livid. At this point, he's just throwing his hands out.
Alabama foul on number 32, Leah Monteith, their second personal
Mel
foul.
Elliott is being very aggressive and active on the boards. You talk about what Kara Walters has really meant to this team, and Mike, I think it's Kara's presence that has elevated them to their national prominence that they do have. I mean, she came into this program 50 pounds heavier than she is now, and she has just worked and worked and worked to get to where she is. 13 All-America this year.
And just a sophomore. Jamel Elliott makes them both. She's got 11. Timeout on the floor with the score. UConn 70, Alabama 4.
We will keep you updated as we get the information. And as you said, we can only hope for the best for Kara Walters. She means so much to this Connecticut team. Some of you may remember last year's Big East Championship semifinals. Rebecca Lobo got an elbow in the nose, and she had a broken nose and had it set in the hospital the night of the semifinal and was back to play for the final game. You can see the little bend in the nose at the top of the bridge there. But so she came back with a little face guard.
There are a lot of pictures of Jennifer with that mask throughout New England, but Jennifer probably wishes we would all lose. Lisa Johnson unable to knock down that jump shot. We're curious to see if Connecticut starts to work a little clock here. Of course, just a 30-second clock.
I guess not. I think Jen Rosati's just in the zone right now.
33-point Husky lead.
And that was Rebecca Lobo with a piece of Lisa Johnson's layup.
Rosati behind the back to Weber, and Madonna Thompson's going to be called for the foul.
And Weber, another player who is never afraid to dive on the floor after the ball. Contributes a lot to this team in motivation and heart. Her numbers don't always show up on the stats, though.
Madonna Thompson, her second personal foul. At the line for Connecticut, shooting 1-1, Pam Weber.
Pam Weber, a 3-year Big East academic all-star.
As we take a look around the regionals being played tonight, Georgia the 3-point lead on NC State. 9 minutes to go in the first there. You mentioned Pam's academic achievements from 1991 through 1995. 15 of the 20 starters on this Connecticut team have been on the Dean's list at the same time. I mean, that's a remarkable stat.
It certainly is. You can attribute a lot of that to the coaching staff. They really make sure that these players study. And Pam Weber and Rebecca Lobo, who is a Scholar Athlete of the Year as well as a first-team academic All-American, have been roommates since freshman year. So not only do they play basketball together, but they must study a lot together, too.
They apparently have figured it out, I would say, Sherry.
The discipline of a student athlete.
They have figured it out early. Lisa down low, little turnaround won't go for her, and boy, tremendous effort by Yolanda Watkins, and then Lisa Johnson able to knock down the 3.
This beautiful textbook form on that jump shot. She probably had a sigh of relief, finally.
Jennifer, a little ball fake, gets a little closer. Jennifer does not want this game to end. 26 unofficially.
She is on. Scored her 1,000th point in the last regular season game of the season versus Villanova.
Comes up with the rebound, pushes the break. .34-point lead, the biggest of the night for the Huskies as we approach 8.5 minutes to go in the game. Louisiana Tech and Virginia still to come. Lobo to follow. Just the first 2 of the second half for Rebecca.
16 double-doubles on the season in points and rebounds. She came a couple of times close to a triple-double where she had 8 assists. In fact, against Virginia Tech, she missed it by 2 assists. Coach took her out and he said, you know, you're just too shy. And she said, well, I go back in. He says, nah, I'm going to keep you out. Don't want any injuries or anything.
fourth personal foul call there on Jennifer Rosati.
Connecticut foul on number 21, Jennifer Rosati.
In fact, her 24 points is her season high. She had 20 points in second round NCAA game versus Virginia Tech. 21 two times versus Kansas and Tennessee. And 22 versus Pittsburgh. Those were her previous season highs.
Entering the lineup, number 32,
Pam Weber in for Jennifer Rosati. Officially, they give her 24 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists on the night. And Jennifer may well be sitting down for the rest of the evening here with under 8 minutes to go and a 79-43 score. Elliott has it taken away by Marlene Stevenson. Donna Thompson can't get the three to stay. Kept alive, though, by Nisa Johnson. Nisa Johnson just makes some wonderful passes. Yolanda Watkins able to complete that one there and get to the line.
Talk about a highlight reel for point guards. Nice little bounce pass inside.
Number 50, Rebecca Lobo, her second personal foul.
2 personal fouls on Rebecca Lobo. But Johnson's just so quick in her hands, and she sees the floor so well. That's what her ability of passing.
Jamel Elliott with the rebound. Pan Weber up quickly to Carla Berube. She'll pull it out of this momentarily.
Some big battle with Stevenson and Lobo underneath.
There was Elliott on the offensive glass, too hard. Lobo the second time. Madonna Thompson called for the reach-in foul.
Both players fighting for position. Lobo up for offensive position and Stevenson for the defensive position.
Alabama foul on number 12, Madonna Thompson, her third personal
Big height
foul.
advantage. Stevenson's just 6 foot. Lobo listed at 6'4". We think she might have grown in the past couple of years, though. Probably reaching about 6'5".
17-6-3 for Rebecca. Just a remarkable, remarkable year. The player of the year. A GTE academic All-American. A friend of mine said to me last night, he said, that's like having the Heisman Trophy winner be an academic All-American.
That's very true.
And that doesn't happen much.
Well, Connecticut trying to run the gambit, following Texas's footsteps. 1986, it was Texas who went 34-0, won the NCAA tournament. A couple of teams have had undefeated regular season, but have not won a championship.
It's timeout on the court with the score UConn 81, Alabama 45. Here in the East, Alabama being the number 4 seed, and we have the number 2 and 3 seeds coming up next. Louisiana Tech and Virginia should be a very good one. I'll be very surprised if it plays like this one.
Yes, I agree. 2 very evenly matched teams with very similar styles.
Rebecca Lobo picks up that foul. Crowd doesn't like the call, but
that would be her 3rd personal foul, and she doesn't like that. Larry Shepard underneath with the call. Rebecca's straight up and down, but there is a little bit of a contact. Her arm with a little bit of a reach, and I don't think she liked that freeze much. But Watkins is an experienced player. 6'2" junior out of Decatur, Georgia, and she knows how to get that foul. She leaned in a little bit to Rebecca Lobo. Watkins, a 2nd team All-SEC selection this year.
Carla Berube takes it into the paint, looks for a cutter, finds one and sails. And a blocking foul is going to go. It's going to go against Yolanda Watkins, and I think that's 5 on Yolanda.
You have to love the way Nikisha Sales plays. She has a straight face for most of the time. You don't know if she's leading or if she's losing. She just has that determination, those eyes of focus. Went back door, got the great pass from Carla Berube. And that's 5 for Yolanda Watkins.
12 points, 8 rebounds for Yolanda as she takes a seat on the bench.
Just a junior, so we will see more of her next year.
There will be big sneakers to fill at Alabama, though, when Nisa Johnson leaves. Here comes Nene Daniels into the game.
Number 4, Nene Daniels, replacing Yolanda Watkins.
Johnson's the all-time Alabama leader in scoring. Over 2,000 points.
It's a young face Nikisha has, isn't it?
Sometimes you forget she's just a freshman.
Right.
Last year she was playing high school basketball. Now she's going to possibly be playing in a Final Four, but we know she's going to be playing in the Final 8. The stakes are high.
Whitney Zell unable to hit outside. Ball kept alive by Jamel Elliott, picked off the floor by Pam Weber. Well, Connecticut goes after every ball. You would never know that they are leading this game 81-47. Inside, Rebecca Lobo gathers, can't kiss it home. Rebound, Marlene Stevenson.
And I think for Coach Auriemma, this game is dragging on, because right now he'd love to get his starters off the court, though with 6:14. Alabama still has a couple of All-Americans. I mean, you never know, so he wants to let that clock just dwindle down a little bit. Terry Walters already in the training room. The blow to the face.
Nene Daniels picks up that foul. This looked like a pretty good block from my angle. Let's see.
Let's see the good pass, good bounce pass inside. Elliott with the head fake. They probably didn't call the top. They probably called the bottom. A little bit with the body. So yeah, I got the ball. But I think there was just a little bit of a body push.
The officials have been a much larger factor in the second half than they were in the first. Rebecca Lobo is going to go to the UConn bench. 13 points. 13 rebounds for Jamel Elliott, who's at the line.
Let's just look at Mr. and Mrs. Lobo. They've been there every step of the way with Rebecca. Has a really supportive family. They never miss a game. Even her grandparents never miss a game.
Under 6 minutes now to play. 83-47. Shot won't go down outside. Jamel Elliott the rebound. Pam Weber looking to push it. She pulls it out a little. Auriemma calling a play off the bench.
You see Kelly Hunt down low fighting for position. She's a freshman out of Londonderry, New Hampshire. There's Miss Basketball in New Hampshire. We have a lot of Miss Basketballs on the court for both Alabama and Connecticut.
Here's Hunt with the offensive rebound. Can't put it down. Pulled down by Carla Kuntz. Quick little jump shot in the lane. That won't stay. Never comes away with it. Kim with the push. Trying to dish it, and jump ball is called. It'll still be Husky ball, though, as we go under 5 minutes now. 4:56 left to play in the game.
Alabama substitution entering the lineup, number 23.
Looks like both coaches now going to their bench.
22, Sarah Smith, replacing Nene Daniels and Marlene Stevenson.
Daniels and Stevenson will sit down, both of them with 4 personal fouls as Duncan and Smith come in.
Oh, you just might have heard the crowd with a little happy birthday cheer, and that was for Coach Auriemma. I think his team gave him a nice little present tonight.
I guess they did. He's going to have to really look hard in this one to come up with something to yell at him about small.
Connecticut looks like they're going to go to their second consecutive Final 8. Last year they lost to the eventual national champions, North Carolina.
Blocked down low there by Sarah Smith, who gets it on the cut and hits a nice little turnaround.
Sarah Smith from Whitney Ezel.
Smith had 12 points versus Duke and 14 in the first round win versus Mount St. Mary's. Real spark off the bench.
Better's cutting through the lane, and Kim Better gets 2. First 2 for Kim tonight. That long three again rattles out for Nisa Johnson. Pam Duncan the rebound. Down low, Sarah Smith. That won't go, and it's pulled down by Carla Berube. Under 4 minutes now to go in the game. Sales.
Connecticut just too much for Alabama. They just kept coming at him from the outside. Rosati with a career night. And then they went inside with Lobo, Walters, and Elliott.
We've got a timeout. 3 minutes, 42 seconds left to play. Timeout on the court with the score UConn 85, Alabama 49. And Bernadette McGlade, the tournament manager, Ron Dubois. And from Connecticut, the senior women's administrator, Pat Babcock. Head basketball coach, Gino Oriema, and his staff. And the sports information director, Barb Cobal, who has been a big help to us here. And from Alabama, the primary women's administrator is Sarah Patterson. Head basketball coach, Rick Moody, and sports information director, Jackie Hopp. Thanks to all of those folks who made our job so easy. Heck of a block there by Sarah Smith.
Kim Better takes it to the basket. Sees a little opening there, and Smith just waiting for it. Whoa.
Nikisha Sales goes out, and Missy Rose is going to get a couple of minutes here. 3 to be exact. 3:15 left to go in the game.
Well, the #1 defense in the country, which is Connecticut, holding opponents at just 31.5% from the field, has held Alabama to just about 26% from the field, well under their season average of 42.4.
Yeah, a real credit to Connecticut, because when you're as good a team as Alabama is, you don't expect to get toasted. You really don't.
They had one game earlier this season where they lost 95-44 to Tennessee, but then they recovered, and though they lost in the SEC semifinals to them, it was 86-70, so they had really done a better job offensively. But credit to Rick Moody, brought this team this far, second consecutive Sweet 16. Last year they were a Final Four team before losing to Louisiana Tech and Richmond 69-66. Smith has done some offensive production since coming into the game.
Rick plays this game again. Sarah may see minutes earlier.
Sarah has another year of junior.
Crowd wanted Missy Rose to put it up, so did the entire bench behind her. That's a tough situation when you're in off the bench late.
On the bench.
And she was just, there she is, she was high-fiving everybody coming off. She does not look to be shaken up, and it is a very, very positive sign for the Huskies going into Saturday against the winner of Virginia and Louisiana Tech.
Good steal. Pam Duncan comes up with it. Great athlete is Duncan.
And Nisa Johnson playing it out, still trying to dish out assists to her teammates. The crowd serenading head coach Gino Oriema, who's looking around wondering whose birthday it is.
Well, we were told it's his birthday. There's some people with some signs, some loyal fans.
Alabama foul on number 20, Nisa Johnson, her first personal foul.
Nisa Johnson charged for that foul, her first, believe it or not, of the game, as Yolanda Watkins talks it over with Nene Daniels on the Alabama bench, and Missy Rose will have a chance to get in the book.
Well, it looks like the 35 home win streak is going to go to 36 here in Gamble Pavilion.
How about 62-3 overall the last 2 years?
That's tremendous.
It's a lot of happy nights going back to the dorm. Sarah Smith unable to hit. Paula Kuntz can't get the follow down.
Brenda Marquis with the rebound out of Moosup, Connecticut, another local player.
And a travel is called on Missy Rose as we go under a minute, 58 seconds to go. The Connecticut Huskies looking to advance, and indeed they will, to Saturday's Final 8. And my partner will be broadcasting right here on Saturday. Hope you'll be able to catch that game as Connecticut takes on the winner of either Virginia, or the winner of Virginia and Louisiana Tech. That will come your way next.
Though there is another game after this, as is customary None of the fans leave. They just love to watch the Huskies. Whether it be the players on the bench or the starting five, they play with the same intensity.
Kelly Hunt out of Londonderry, Connecticut with the finish. As we wind this one down, Connecticut with their scoring margin of a +35 all year are at +34 right now against a very, very good Alabama team.
And it's an end of an era for Nisa Johnson in Alabama. A tremendous player. I'm going to be sad I'm not going to be able to watch her great play.
Tyler Coons kicks it out. Madonna Thompson knocks down a three. Late coming, the first bucket for Madonna Thompson on the night. Missy Rose into the forecourt. Crowd wants her to put it up. Out of bounds, 7/10 of a second left to play. The Connecticut Huskies go home happy. 22-9 will be the final record for Alabama. Nisa Johnson with the full court pass. There is no quit in Nisa Johnson, who hugs Rebecca Lobo in front of the Connecticut bench. Great shot right there of two of the best basketball players in the country. Final score here from Gamble. The Connecticut Huskies 87, the Crimson Tide of Alabama 56.
Louisiana Tech coming into this, the stats favor them.
This is the first time in regular season play that they have been put together.
Pat Summitt, the great head coach of Tennessee. There is a song in Nashville that's getting some airplay.